What's going on, everybody? So this is take two with the Yankee Hill Machine Victra 20 gauge modular suppressor. So the other day I did the first video on it. I was all excited after not just ordering the can, getting the paperwork done, getting the can home, only to find out that all the things you need to make it modular and mount it to the gun are not included. They're just available. Finally, after getting all that stuff in, broke it down to its K configuration, the 4-inch, and as I mentioned in that video, the only ammunition that I had that I could actually shoot was a slug. And we gave it a try and we found out that you're just putting 10 ounces of weight on the front of a shotgun if you try to use the 4-inch configuration with a 1-ounce slug or a 7/8 ounce slug. So to give it the due diligence, if you will, I went to Dunham's, and I'll talk about the buckshot availability or lack thereof when it comes to any buckshot that you can actually put through this can. But I took a look at some of the ammunition. I got a couple different loads, ended up picking up a number 6 shot, standard bird shot game load. I got a 4-shot copper plated Federal load, both 2 3/4. Both have a proper standard wad that you can put through the suppressor. And then we're going to revisit the Remington Slugger slug, and of course, see how it does instead of the 4-inch configuration with the 10-inch configuration. So real quick, for those that are interested, what I'm finding out, this is, it's a suppressor for a shotgun. Cool. All right, we're putting multiple projectiles through a can, but it does state that you have to use a standard wad if you're using multiple projectiles. So shot, buckshot, whatever. Good luck finding any buckshot, so any defensive load or quote-unquote multiple projectile big game hunting load that has a standard wad. Now, you'll find Federal Flight Control or similar, which is like the Horn 80, stuff like that. But if it has any type of features like a flight control wad, you cannot fire it out of this per the manufacturer guidelines. This gun is either a slug gun with a can or a bird gun. So putting this on a 12-inch SBS that's normally used for home defense, unless you're going to be get attacked by pheasants or rhinoceroses, or rhinoceri, whatever the hell it is, this is pretty much a worthless tool, if you will. Now, if you're a bird hunter, rock on with your bad self if you really want to mount 10 inches to the end of your gun. Now, this does come in the 8-inch and 6-inch configuration, and 4-inch configuration. Good luck. That's pretty much just a Loudner at that point in time. That's fine. But when we basically, the world that I am going to exist in with this, I was hoping for something that in a short configuration would not blow my eardrums, but frankly, I'll just keep the electronic ear pro next to the bed and have Vera in the 12-inch configuration. Now, full disclosure, 12-inch SBS, normally these things come factory 21-inch barrel, the 1187 Sportsman. This is now a 22-inch configuration, so it's not outrageous for those that don't decide to do a class 3, but, and I am going to do a barrel weight comparison of the can. The can's actually not very heavy. It's like 22 ounces in full configuration. That's not bad at all. So I'll do a weight configuration, but as you can see, the 12-inch SBS is now not so much in a 12-inch SBS, but let's just get to the shooting and see if it's actually doing any good. All right, so here we go. This is going to be the live ammo with the 10-inch configuration of the Yankee Hill Machine Victra 20, just to see how it goes. Now, I've stepped up the ammo in kind of oomph. So the first one we've got is what everybody has seen. If you go bird hunting, this is just like a 6-shot. It's a Winchester Super X standard wad, cheap bird shot that you go out and shoot clays with. So this is first shot. Let's see how it does. All right, not bad. So I'm going to do it for the rest of you. My hearing is already pretty much shot from 15 years of teaching. That wasn't bad. Let's see what it's actually like. All right, so I wouldn't want to have a steady diet of that. That being said, ears aren't ringing. Is it quiet? Is this No Country for Old Men? Not a chance in hell. This isn't tweet, tweet. This is pretty much bang, bang without the tinnitus that's going to occur. So that was, as I mentioned, the cheap, low-power stuff, 1 ounce of 6-shot. I'm going to go ahead and reset, and we'll try it out with the next level up, which is the copper-plated number 4. Okay, so the cheap stuff's out of the way. This is a Federal 4-shot, 1 ounce. This is more of a longer distance pheasant load or whatever, 2 3/4, not 3-inch. and we'll see how this does. 10-inch configuration with Ear Pro. Here we go. All right, you know what? Let's give that a shot. It wasn't that bad. I didn't notice too much of a difference. All right, so big difference about that one. Yeah, that crossed the threshold of definitely not being hearing safe. Not ringing, but no, I would not say that you can go ahead and shoot this thing in a 10-inch configuration with a more powerful bird load. I'm regretting not putting my Ear Pro on, but it certainly didn't hurt. So that tells me very easy that I will not be taking my Ear Pro off when we revisit the 1-ounce slugger. Okay, so the cheap bird and the more pricey bird, and I'll post the pictures, the exact specs in this video. Here we're at revisit from the other day. Instead of a 4-inch configuration, full 10-inch configuration of the modular can, and I'm going to be putting through the 1-ounce or 7/8 ounce. I don't actually know what these are, but big chunk of lead. This is the Remington Slugger, which is the standard load for Vera. I'm going to back up, see if you guys can get a muzzle flash, because this thing put out a hell of a fireball with the 4-inch. Hail Mary full of grace. Here we go. Okay, definitely not as bad as it was the other day. I am not doing that without Ear Pro on, though, because it was not quiet, but it was definitely not the cannon fire that you would expect with shooting a slug out of, especially a short barrel shotgun. You know what? Just for fun, we'll do one more. All right, so what are we getting from a $1,000 modular suppressor? $750 from Silencer Shop. It goes up to about $850 depending on where you buy it from. I really like Silencer Shop because of how easy they have made dealing with government bureaucracy and theft. But that's neither here nor there. So $750 base can, and then roughly $250 just to get this thing modular and mounted to my gun. I am glad I spent the money, only because hopefully you guys don't. I don't know what more testing I can do. This definitely from a self-defense or tactical use. Could you even say, well, I want to have a suppressed shotgun so that when the drone swarms come, they won't know where the shot's coming from. You're going to know. You're going to know because it ain't that quiet. Does it take the sting out of it? Could you go shoot a round of sporting clays with the lowest bird shot possible? Yeah, and it's going to be not unpleasant. But you know what? $1,000, 50 to 80, depending on if you want to go MSA Swordens. Okay, you're going up considerable amount, but there's some really good Ear Pro out there. I just am not seeing it right now from any point of view. Now, granted, you're like, well, put it on an 18-inch or put it on a 22-inch. Okay, well then, when you're poking the clay pigeons out of the air with the barrel length and the suppressor, and you can just swat them down instead of shoot them and save ammo, okay, there's actually a pro. Maybe with the barrel length, it's going to suppress it a little bit more. But delusions of grandeur, if you think it's ever going to be No Country for Old Men, and, you know, we know that from Hollywood. But right now, this is definitely going to go in the, maybe I'll bring it out to show people, but this is not going to be in any kind of rotation on any serious use. I'm just going to put the turkey choke, the extended choke with the ports on it back on Vera, because it does help tame recoil on the 12-inch system, and just keep the electronic Ear Pro next to my bed, right? And worst case scenario, I have to shoot it without getting the Ear Pro on. It's going to be roughly the same if I had this in the realistic configuration to not make it where it's an absolute 10 inches back on the gun. But just to do due diligence, I will go measure the weight difference between the full 10-ounce or 10-inch can and the standard size barrel. I do have Vera's Class 1 or Title 1 barrel, and we'll see the difference, because right now it is only 1 inch longer than if you were to find one of these beautiful 1187 Sportsman 20 gauges, which good luck. But that's, only 1 inch difference. So if that's the issue, then cool, rock on. Yeah, that's what I got on it. Cool, not worth it in my opinion.